This right here is a YouTuber named Sam who uploaded a terrifying video titled Stealth Van Camping Gone Wrong on his channel The Northwest Wind. For those who are unaware of the term stealth camping, it involves parking a camper van anywhere without paying for parking, from residential neighborhoods to the middle of nowhere. His channel mostly showcases his travels in his camper van, and he frequently uploads videos documenting his stealth camping experiences across the United States. In this particular video, Sam uploaded footage of his stealth camping trip to the woods in Cleveland. While leaving his camper van at a local dog park, he made his way into the woods. He stumbled upon a camping tent that had been completely destroyed, but he decided to keep going. After setting up his tent in the woods, he started cooking dinner on a camping stove. At this point, he saw a couple of people walking by the campsite and mentioned that he was feeling like he was possibly in danger. Despite this, Sam decided to stick it out for the night and kept on recording. As soon as he settled down in his tent to get some sleep, this is when things started to take a turn for the worse.
There's somebody, hang on. I don't know if they could see it or not through the tent. I don't think so. I'm leaning right up against the light, but somebody's walking around out there very close to the tent. Somebody's out there. I don't know if they're coming this way or just walking around out there. I can't tell. Somebody's definitely walking around out there, though. Hang on. I don't want to leave the light on in case they could see in here. Somebody's walking around out there. They're getting closer, too. They're getting closer. Hang on. Hang on.
As the footsteps outside the tent drew closer and closer, Sam wasn't sure if it was an animal or a person. With no other options remaining, he called out to whoever was out there. At first, he didn't get a response, but after calling out about the 6th time, that's when things took a turn for the worse.
I don't like this at all. I'm spooked.
Hello?
I can barely hear them talking. They're whispering. I think there's 2 people. Hang on. They're walking around outside in circles.
Hello? Hello? Alright, I don't like this. Hello? Hello? They're touching my tent. Stop.
They're right outside the tent.
Hello? I'm in here. Hello? Hello? Alright, I'm getting the f*** out of here. Hello? Hello? I don't know what the f*** this is, but we're getting out of here. Hang on. Okay, they're walking away now. What do you want? I have a knife. Where's my knife? Holy crap, get away. What do you want? Hello, I can't see you. Alright, I'm getting out of here. We're getting the hell out of here. Hello? Say something, I see you!
After Sam mentioned that he had a knife on him, the attackers left the campsite. However, as soon as he stepped out of the tent, Sam saw them standing creepily in the middle of the woods.
I don't know which way they went. I think they went this way. I see you! Get away! Alright, I'm spooked. I don't like this. Get my headlamp on and we're getting out of here right now. They're just standing there. They're just standing there. What do you want? Leave me alone! They went over that way. I can't see them now. I know you're there. I see you. They collapsed my tent on me and pulled the fly off while I was still in there.
After completely losing it during the unsettling encounter, he decides to leave his tent and return to his van in the park. Unfortunately, this was not the end, as things start to get even more disturbing.
Phone. I'm gonna call 911 if you come near me. All right, they're moving again. I don't know. I'm getting out of here. We're going. I'll come back for this some other time. All right, let's get the hell out of here. I'm leaving. Don't follow me. All right, this is stay away from me! They're coming behind me. I don't know what they're doing. They're at my campsite. I see them. I see you reflecting off my tent. Leave my shit alone!
Fearing for his life, Sam decides to leave his belongings behind as the attackers steal his things. He quickly tries to run back to his van, but when he turns around, he sees the attackers coming after him.
One of them's following me. One of them's... I just ate. I'm toast. Okay, oh, they're coming. Leave me alone! I hear them coming. I can't see the shadow. Here's a path. Okay, get me there. I'm recording all of this. Get away from me! Hang on, is this still recording? Is it still recording? Is it still recording? Right at the edge of the wood line. It's about 150 yards away. Hang on. You see that? I see you! I can see you! Oh, it's getting bigger. It's getting bigger. All right, let's get the out of here. I don't know if they're like after me or something, or what the happening. We're getting the here. It's getting bigger. They're coming this way. Holy I don't like this. I'm calling the police! Okay. This is okay. All right, we're getting out of here.
After running for his life, Sam finally made it back to his van safely. He immediately drove home and gave his viewers a detailed update on everything that happened. It remains a mystery who the two guys who chased and attacked him were and what their motives were. However, when Sam went back to his tent the next morning, he found out that the attackers didn't end up stealing his stuff. It's clear that robbing the campsite wasn't their main motive. We can't really tell what would have happened to Sam if he hadn't decided to abandon his campsite and run to his van.
24 hours, I think, to what are you looking at? You keep freaking me out, dog. There's no one over there. Have you seen someone? I'm not.
In May of 2018, a British YouTuber named CJ uploaded a very bizarre video titled "Fixing My Fridge in a Haunted Forest" on his channel Project Amber. CJ's channel primarily documents his travels and camping experiences across Europe as he travels out of his camper van. What sets his channel apart from other exploration channels is his dog named Lance. CJ always brings Lance along wherever he goes, and the two of them never travel without one another. His videos typically highlight the beauty of nature and have a relaxed and pleasant vibe to them. However, in this particular video, that was far from the truth. In the video, CJ was driving through the French countryside in his camper van when he noticed that his mini fridge was not working. He immediately pulled over to fix it. The spot where he stopped was in the middle of a rural forest, with no one else in sight for many miles. As CJ stepped out of the van to fix the fridge, his dog began to act very strangely. The dog stared intently at a well located close to where he had parked the van. This strange behavior caught CJ off guard, and this is when things started to take a very bizarre turn for CJ.
I'm going to give it the full 24 hours, I think, to what are you looking at? You keep freaking me out, dog. There's no one over there. Have you seen someone? I'm not. There's actually a well just where I'm parked. You go down this little track and there's a well with a big metal bar on it, and originally I was going to go and park there, and I saw the well, instantly started thinking about the ring, which when I was about, I think it was about 10 when it came out, scared the shit out of me. For like a month I didn't sleep properly, and now the dog keeps looking over in that direction at where it is, so I'm like, nah mate, I might move but I can't.
As CJ's dog continued to stare at the well, he mentioned that there was an abandoned well nearby, sealed with a heavy metal cover. Eventually, things returned back to normal, and CJ brushed off the strange occurrences he had been witnessing. As he worked on fixing his fridge, he decided to spend the night there. However, the next day, things took a turn for the worse when CJ began hearing mysterious sounds coming from the abandoned well.
Okay, I'm seriously freaked out now. A minute ago I could hear like really loud moaning, like "Aah!" like just booming across the mountains. So I've come down to where I could hear it. I got to this old well and it stopped. But just as soon as I got here, just from over there, there's no track or anything, it's just wood. This girl appeared, dressed like kind of like a monk, no shoes, no hair. So I said bonjour and that, and she responded. I asked if she was okay, but she didn't respond then, she just carried on walking. So I carried on a bit and then thought I better double check. Went to go and find her again. She's gone. That way, that's where my van is, and that goes to the road. But down where she went that way, there's nothing, and there's nothing for miles. Where did she go?
After hearing mysterious noises coming from the well, CJ immediately went down to investigate the source of the noises. However, just as he approached the well, the sounds abruptly stopped. During this time, he spotted a girl dressed like a monk, barefoot and with no hair, who seemed to appear out of nowhere and walked into the woods. CJ called out to her, but she didn't respond and continued walking away into the distance. Concerned that the girl might be lost or having some type of mental trouble, he decided to follow her. However, by the time he reached the spot where she had been, she had mysteriously disappeared. Not only had the girl vanished, but there were also no footprints or signs of anyone's presence. Plus, the location where she disappeared was a relatively open area in the woods that stretched out for miles. Disturbed by what he had just witnessed, CJ decided to leave the woods. As he was walking back to his van, he saw the girl again, and this time recorded the disturbing encounter.
I have not got a clue what was going on there. That was so weird. The well, the moaning from the forest, the girl. Nah, maybe there's an explanation to it all, but I wasn't sticking around. I left, I booted it. I'm about 50 miles from there now. I saw the girl another 2 times. The last time I was near the van and she was running through the forest. I left. I was gone. I was gone so fast. I didn't even pack the van away. Yeah, it's a pretty big mess in here. But I do have a working fridge. The fridge is working. It's nice and cold now.
CJ mentioned that he saw the same girl 2 more times after filming her, and the last time he encountered her, she was running into the woods. After this encounter, CJ quickly hopped into his van and drove away without even packing all his belongings in the back. He also mentioned that his dog is typically very friendly and approaches people playfully. However, on this day, his dog seemed anxious and kept staring in the direction where the woman had gone. The identity of the girl and whether CJ's experience was paranormal remains a mystery. Many comments on his video point out that CJ's videos focus exclusively on his van life, and this is the only one of this kind and has no reason to fake his content. However, these claims regarding the paranormal are not confirmed or verified and are merely theories and speculations. Consequently, the truth about the girl continues to be an unsolved mystery. This right here is a YouTuber named William, who in October of 2023 uploaded a video titled "Most Scared I've Ever Been While Stealth Camping" on his channel Truesdale TV. His channel primarily focuses on outdoor exploration, and he frequently uploads footage of his stealth camping experiences in various locations across the UK. In this video, William takes things to a whole new level by stealth camping alone in a haunted forest known as Ballybully Forest. For those unfamiliar with this location, the Ballybully Forest is regarded as one of the most haunted forests in both Northern Ireland and the UK. According to the legend, Ballybully was a significant site for high-ranking priests during ancient Celtic cultures, with stone formations and trenches scattered throughout the forest. Many nearby locals steer clear of the area, and those who venture in are cautious to remain on the path because of its disturbing history of ghost sightings and mysterious disappearances. From the 15th to 17th centuries, over 30 people vanished in the forest, and even now, numerous individuals have reported seeing shadowy figures and hearing strange noises at night. In the video, William begins his exploration by venturing deep into the woods in search of a suitable camping spot. He immediately admits to his viewers that he feels a bit freaked out about spending the night in the forest. Despite this, he continues to explore and eventually finds a good spot to set up his campsite. As the night begins to set in, he prepares his dinner and decides to call it a night. However, while he was trying to go to sleep, he suddenly hears footsteps approaching his tent, and this is when things start to take a very bizarre turn for William.
Cheers, folks. Hear that? Something there? Something there?
After hearing footsteps next to his tent, William called out to whoever or whatever was outside, but he unfortunately didn't get any response. The footsteps eventually stopped and William, in a state of panic, stepped outside to investigate the source of the mysterious footsteps, but disturbingly, he found no one outside. After this strange encounter, he returned back to his tent, and as he was trying to make sense of what had just happened, something forcefully struck the side of his tent.
What the f***? Did you hear that? Did you f***? It's going
Off, who's out there?
Oh, I'm paranoid. There's something like that. Or like, was that me? I don't know. Wait, we have to investigate this shit. I can't sleep any with this shit. I'm gonna get myself worked out.
After hearing something strike his tent, William, afraid for his life, called out to see who was there. When no one responded, he stepped outside his tent, but yet again found nothing outside. Having heard footsteps earlier, and now experiencing something striking his tent, William was consumed by fear and paranoia. This ultimately led him to set up a camera outside his tent to monitor his surroundings. Unfortunately for William, the camera didn't record anything unusual, making it even more disturbing for William to make sense of what he was witnessing. Despite feeling anxious, William eventually went to sleep and left the forest early in the morning, and as of the time this video was uploaded, he has not returned back to the haunted Ballyboley forest.
I was down in my tent, not asleep, listening to all the sounds, and then I heard somebody down by the shelter. So at first I had to convince myself it wasn't what I thought I heard, but it definitely was somebody down there.
This right here is a YouTuber named Phil, who in December of 2021 uploaded a video titled Creepy Night in the Woods on his channel Hike Slam. His channel primarily focuses on outdoor exploration, and he regularly shares footage of his hiking and camping experiences throughout North America. In this particular video, Phil chose to go on a solo overnight hike along the Appalachian Trail in Virginia. He starts the video by venturing deep into the woods in search of a suitable camping location for the night. The first few minutes of his hike seemed to go smoothly, and everything appeared to be quite normal. However, about 30 minutes into the hike, he stumbles upon some peculiar trash along the trail. Oddly enough, some of the containers he discovers have writing on them that resembles song lyrics and poems. Nevertheless, Phil chooses to ignore the peculiar writing and carries on with his hike. As he explores further, he encounters another set of strange notes and writings as he approaches the campsite. This time, however, Phil notices a dead duck lying next to the notes, and this is when things start to take a very disturbing turn for Phil.
The weirdness continues. What the hell? And there's a dead duck here. A very long note. And it looks like it was just put here because it's not wet. That duck is fairly recently killed. Alright. Kind of creepy.
After discovering another set of disturbing writings and cryptic poems, Phil finds a dead duck lying next to them. At that moment, he notices a campsite just a few yards away from the notes and the dead duck. It's unclear whether the person who wrote the notes is also responsible for killing the duck. Nevertheless, Phil decides to keep his distance from the campsite and continues on his hike. As he makes his way up the trail, he encounters two women hiking down the trail.
Okay, well that was really weird. So as I was hiking toward the shelter, these two women were hiking in the opposite direction. They had a little dog with them. They asked if I had seen the guy who was leaving the notes. I said he has a campsite down by the river. They were shocked I was still considering camping out there, but they said that they were kind of freaked out and asked if I would go with them and walk past his campsite so they could get back to their car. So I did, and then when I got back to my truck, and I'm actually on the Appalachian Trail, just going the opposite direction. But I'm just going to find the closest camp spot to where I'm at because the sun is going down, and set up camp and yeah, settle in for the night.
Phil mentioned that the two women asked him if he had seen a man leaving disturbing notes and dead animals. When he told them he noticed a campsite just a few yards away from the notes, the women, afraid for their lives, asked him to walk back to their car with them. Phil agreed and walked back with them before heading in the opposite direction to find a safer place to camp for the night. Once Phil arrived at the shelter, he set up camp for the night and enjoyed his dinner, far away from the unsettling notes. Later that night, Phil went into the shelter to check out the camp log and read some of the notes and stories left by other hikers. That's when Phil discovered something extremely disturbing once again.
I'm gonna check out the shelter log here. Almost every shelter on the Appalachian Trail has a shelter log. It's kind of cool tradition here. So let's see what this one says. All right, let's see what's happened recently. Holy crap. Wait a second. This writing looks almost exactly like the writing that was on that garbage a couple of miles from here.
It's important to note that the shelter where Phil is currently located is more than 2 miles away and is situated entirely on the opposite side of the road from the notes and ducks he saw earlier. The handwriting in the camp log is identical to the handwriting he found in the previous notes and trash. The situation becomes increasingly disturbing as Phil starts to read through the logbook.
In 2018, while I was incarcerated at the Okaloosa County Jail, what the heck? In solitary confinement, I figured the following out. Refer to Isaiah 28:15. Here in early 2017, Trump, Nebo, allowed Obama to have the special use of the Air Force One for a trip to Palm Springs. This is the same ramblings from the guy that was on the other side of the river. That's kind of scary. Wow, this is weird. It's just like, it goes in one direction, then immediately goes in a completely different direction. And there's just so much of it. Like this line up here. Think grave robbery in an attempt to obscure the reality of Little Mrs. Wolf. In the past, the Russian collusion assertion have been followed up on many occasions with the advancement of illusions that would show discord in fiction between the colluding parties. You're falling faster. Obey your master. What the heck? Okay, that's crazy.
After reading the logbook, it's evident that a convicted felon has been wandering through the woods, leaving disturbing notes all over the place. The writing raises concerns about his mental stability, which is particularly alarming considering that Phil is alone in the middle of nowhere at night and doesn't seem to have anything to defend himself with. As Phil walked back to the shelter, he noticed a bottle hanging from a string on the ceiling. Attached to it was a note in the same handwriting as before. That read, "Watch out for Yeet Mouse. The dead do walk and talk." Disturbed by everything he was witnessing, Phil was overwhelmed with fear and anxiety. He ultimately decided to return to his tent and call it a night. However, as he tried to fall asleep, he heard footsteps approaching the shelter right next to his tent.
Okay, I'm out on the trail. It's the middle of the night. I was down in my tent listening to all the sounds, and then I heard somebody down by the shelter. So at first I had to convince myself it wasn't what I thought I heard, but it definitely was somebody down there. So I packed up all my stuff and I walked past. As I walked past, it did look like a single guy hanging out in the shelter. He had a headlamp on. All I could really see was the light from the headlamp, so I could have been wrong. So I don't know. I just got out of there.
After hearing footsteps outside his tent, Phil peeked out and noticed a man with a headlamp wandering around the shelter. Unsure if this was the same individual who had been leaving notes, he quickly gathered his things and headed back to his truck. Fortunately for Phil, he was not being followed or stalked and returned home safely. As of the time this video was uploaded, Phil has not gone back to the Appalachian Trail. The identity of the person who left the creepy notes and killed the duck remains unclear, and since Phil never found out the truth behind these disturbing experiences, this mystery might remain unsolved.
I was just woken up because I heard a car pull up, and as soon as I drew the curtains back, they drove off. Like, what, they just think that there's just some random van parked here that they might be able to break into, or it's a little bit freaky.
In February of 2024, a YouTuber named Sean uploaded a pretty disturbing video titled "A Stranger Locked Me Inside My Van" on his channel Love Sundays. He frequently uploads footage of his solo stealth camping experiences in his camper van. In this video, Sean decided to stealth camp in the woods somewhere in the UK. He begins the video by parking his van alongside the road and then heads into the woods to explore. After wandering for a while, Sean returns to his van to prepare dinner and decides to go to bed around 9 p.m. However, at 3 in the morning, he is awakened by the sound of a car approaching his van, and this is when things begin to take a turn for the worse for Sean.
Car's just pulled up, and it sounds like they're walking around the van. I was just woken up because I heard a car pull up. It was at the front of the van, and as soon as I drew the curtains back, they drove off. Like, what, they just think that there's just some random van parked here that they might be able to break into, or I don't know. But it's a little bit freaky, but I don't want somebody breaking in thinking there's no one in here, because that'll be a right pain. Hopefully I'll get a good night's sleep.
Upon hearing footsteps approaching his van, Sean quickly drew back the curtains. To his surprise, when he leaned out the window to investigate, the car immediately drove away, leaving him alone for the remainder of the night. Believing he was safe, Sean decided to go back to sleep. However, it wasn't until the following morning that he discovered what they had done to his van.
I slept surprisingly well, considering after that car pulled up outside and then drove off, I didn't hear anything else for the rest of the night. So from then I actually slept all right. Right, well, I think we should at least go outside and see how miserable the weather is. My door's stuck. What the actual see that?
I don't even think I can shut the door now. So when I said I got left alone last night, it doesn't look like I did get left alone, does it? I didn't even hear anyone out on the side door. Right, I've got to work out how to do this. Tell you what, it's a good job I haven't got a bulkhead. There we go. So here's obviously just people wanting to f*** about and just be funny, I guess, but how dangerous is that, locking someone in their van? Let me check the back door. Well, there's nothing on this one because they wouldn't have been able to tie it to anything, would they? There's no way they could have done that door anyway.
It's still uncertain why anyone would want to trap a stranger in their van at 3 in the morning. After Sean returned home and reviewed the footage, he noticed something he had previously overlooked. If you look closely at the fuel cap on his van, you can clearly see fingerprints all over it, suggesting that someone might have been attempting to steal diesel from the van. They also placed zip ties to lock the door, in case Sean became aware of the situation and tried to escape to confront them. To make matters even more disturbing, one particular comment left on his video stated that the individuals who locked him in attempted to open his fuel tank, potentially intending to burn it. However, it's very unlikely that anyone would do something this sinister. Since Sean never fully uncovered their true motives, this mystery may remain unresolved.
Go away! No! No! Okay. This is when I die.
This right here is a YouTuber named Kyle Burgess, who in October of 2022 uploaded a video titled Cougar Encounter in Utah on his channel Cougar Kyle. In the video, Kyle was jogging on a trail early in the morning in Provo when he believed he saw a baby bobcat in front of him. He quickly grabbed his phone to capture it on video, but soon realized it was actually a baby cougar, and alarmingly, the mother cougar showed up shortly after he started filming. This is when things took a turn for the worse for Kyle.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh f***! Oh f***! Oh! No! Get the f*** away! Get the f*** away! Holy shit! Go! 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 No! No! Go away! Go away! Please go away! Holy shit! Holy shit! Oh! You're a good little kitty cat. Oh! Holy! What's up, dude? Oh! Holy shit! Nice and slow. Come on! Ah! Go get your babies. I'm not coming back down, I promise.
As soon as Kyle spots the approaching cougar, he slowly backs away and tries his best to scare the animal off with loud noises. However, the cougar remains completely unfazed and continues to track him. At one point in the video, the cougar lunges at him when Kyle briefly turns his head to avoid tripping while backing up. This momentary distraction prompts the cougar to attack and close in, coming within just a few feet of him.
You're a scary kitty cat. Holy shit. No, go away! Go away! No! No! F you, dude! Okay. This is when I die. No! Get the f away! Stupid kitty cat. Holy, come on, dude. I don't feel like dying today. Ah, go get your babies. Go away. No, you taste, dude. Trying to attack me, your eyes are looking away from you. Dude, this is scary. My heart is racing. Go get your babies, go away. Oh, damn. I just wanted to go on a run. You're not getting me, dude. I'm ready to go down. Yeah, get the away from me, face. Oh, damn it.
Fortunately for Kyle, the cougar eventually ran off after he threw a rock at it. This terrifying encounter lasted for a full 6 minutes. Encounters of this nature can be quite dangerous and may result in worse situations if a person attempts to run out of fear or does not appear intimidating, as this could trigger the animal's instinct to chase and attack. Nonetheless, Kyle remained notably composed throughout the 6 minutes and successfully scared the cougar away without being harmed or attacked.
Is that a badger? Hello?
This right here is a YouTuber named Daniel O'Neill, who in August of 2024 uploaded a video titled "Never Been So Scared When Camping" on his channel English Woodsman. He frequently uploads footage of his outdoor camping experiences while traveling across the UK. In this particular video, Daniel decided to go camping in the woods somewhere in the UK. As he explores the area, he points out to his viewers the footprints and trash left by other campers. After walking for a bit, he sets up his camp and decides to settle down. Everything up to this point appears to be normal. However, about 30 minutes into the video, while showcasing the camping gear he brought, he suddenly hears footsteps behind him and calls out to whoever is out there.
And rain camping is really good. Is that a badger? Hello?
After hearing the disturbing footsteps, he got up to investigate his surroundings, and the footsteps suddenly stopped, indicating that someone was indeed watching over him. After searching everywhere, he unfortunately didn't find anything. However, as soon as he sat down, he heard the footsteps again, but this time they were louder and closer.
There's that noise again now. Hello? Hello? You got to be able to hear that. There's nobody here. And it sounds like someone's just walking around. I can handle it, won't. Can you wear it? It's like it's just there.
After hearing the noise for the second time, he called them out multiple times but didn't get any response. Fortunately, the noises eventually stopped. While most people would have likely left the forest by then, Daniel chose to stay overnight. As the night began to set in, he enjoyed his dinner and decided to go to bed.
I'm actually breaking wind. I'm quite scared, people. I'm not going to pretend I'm not. If it's a human and they come up and laugh at me, scaring the hell out of me, but this is going to be a long night if I'm nervous like this and scared now. I need to know what this sound is. It's not like it was, it's like and then it stops. I'm only talking to you guys because it sort of like helps me a little bit. I'm going to be honest, I can't stay here now. I want to be a wimp. I don't care if people call me a wimp in the comments, but I can't stay here. I'm too unsettled. I'm nervous. I've done camping like this a load of times. I think I'm going to go find somewhere else to get this bivvy set up. But I'm leaving this spot, like, now.
As he was trying to fall asleep, he couldn't stop thinking about those mysterious footsteps. His fear and paranoia grew, ultimately leading him to leave the forest. Many comments left by Daniel's viewers mention that he made the right choice by trusting his gut feeling and leaving the forest. The source of the footsteps is still unknown, but they likely came from someone following him while trying to stay out of sight. Their true intentions are unclear, but based on their actions, they were probably up to no good. Nevertheless, it was definitely the right decision for Daniel to leave the forest.
There is a lot of noises in these woods. Sounds like kids screaming. That's a bird. That's a gunshot. I don't know if you'll be able to hear a lot of this, it's pretty distant, but it sounds like kids screaming.
This right here is a YouTuber named Louise, who in January of 2019 uploaded a video titled "The Most Scared I've Ever Been" while camping on her channel Camper Vibe. Her channel primarily showcases her outdoor adventures throughout the UK as she travels in her camper van. In this particular video, Louise went camping alone in a place called the Daring Woods, situated in Pluckley, England. Pluckley is known as one of the most haunted villages in England. The village is even listed in the Guinness Book of Records as the most haunted village in Britain. However, Louise had no knowledge of this when she chose to go camping there. As she ventured into the woods, she demonstrated to her viewers how she set up her campsite and chopped wood for a fire. While cooking dinner, she mentioned hearing strange noises in the distance, but she chose to ignore them and continued preparing her dinner. However, as she began eating her meal, she heard the strange noises again, and that's when things took a very disturbing turn.
I don't know if you can see, a Cadbury's Pot of Joy. Yogurt, basically, chocolate yogurt. There is a lot of noises in these woods. Sounds like kids screaming. That's a bird. That's a gunshot. I don't know if you'll be able to hear a lot of this, it's pretty distant, but it sounds like kids screaming. Honestly, I've never known a woods with so many strange noises. It's not just your normal birds and stuff. Oh, I don't really know how to describe it, but I should sleep well, I would think. Where's my big bean? What was that noise? This is definitely odd. I've got no idea if you guys heard that or not, but honestly, I don't like it, I'm gonna be honest. It's not deer, like I know what deer sound like.
After hearing the noises several times, she began to explore the woods to investigate the source of the strange noises. After searching for a while and not finding anything suspicious, she decided to settle in and go to sleep. However, at around 2 in the morning, she was awakened by loud footsteps right next to her tent.
There's been a person or persons. But the I've never wanted the morning to come as much as I do right now.
After this chilling experience, she mentioned that the loud footsteps were made by more than one person. A few minutes later, as she gathered the courage to look outside her tent, she heard crows flying away, suggesting that someone or something had startled the sleeping crows.
Turn the light on earlier because I swear to God that was footsteps. This is definitely the scariest night I've ever had in a tent. I'm sure I can still hear footsteps.
As the night came to a close, she gathered her things and safely returned to her van. While providing her viewers with a detailed update on her experiences, she made a quick Google search about the area and found out that she had indeed spent the night in the most haunted village in the UK. As for the unsettling noises and footsteps she heard earlier, they were likely caused by someone lurking around her campsite. However, since she never identified who or what was responsible for those sounds, it remains an unsolved mystery.
The more I think about it, the stranger it gets. But my gut were telling me, don't stay there.
In April of 2023, a YouTuber named Gaz uploaded a pretty disturbing video on his channel Grizzly Gaz in which he recorded footage of his strange encounter in the woods. His channel mostly featured him camping in some pretty extreme conditions with his French bulldog named Fendi. His videos are usually very wholesome and exciting, however, in this particular video that was not the case. In the video, Gaz along with his dog Fendi went camping in the woods somewhere in the UK. Initially, he showed his viewers how he set up his tent and chopped wood to start a fire. Everything seemed fairly normal up to this point. However, as he started to prepare his dinner, a random stranger in jeans and a coat appeared out of nowhere at his campsite and asked him for a beer and some food, which caused this to happen.
Right, we've got steaks on go now. Bit of ribeye. Pot boiling for some mash. And I've got a visitor. Creeped up behind me asking me if I had a light. I shit my pants. This is Martin anyway. Hey. I don't know him, but he's stopping for a steak, so...
Just some random crate wandering about.
You went round here in a poncho a couple of months ago, were you?
I don't think I was. I could have been. It's possible.
Right, gonna get these cooked up.
Even though the encounter between Gaz and Martin seemed pretty friendly, it's still very scary to suddenly be approached by a random guy in the middle of nowhere. If you listen closely to what he's saying, some of his sentences are a little peculiar, and he appears to slur his words when he talks. While they were enjoying their dinner, Martin mentioned that he was homeless and told Gaz the story about how he had ruined his life with drugs. To make things even more creepy, Gaz mentioned that while they were having dinner, he turned around for a few seconds to chop some more wood to keep the fire going, and when he turned back around, Martin had disappeared.
That lad, Martin, who creeped up behind me asking for a light after I fed him, he scurried straight off. I did ask Martin if he's been creeping about in these woods before, but thinking, is he going to come back? The more I think about it, the stranger it gets. I turned round to cut some firewood up, and when I turned back round, he'd gone. I just found that really strange. The fact that he just left has put the EBGBs up me. But I've left my trail camera down there. We'll go back in the morning. But my gut were telling me, don't stay there. So I packed up, thrown a load of water on fire. Now I'm making my way out.
After the strange encounter, Gaz finally decided to leave the campsite and head home. He was afraid that the man might come back to rob him. As he had expensive filming equipment with him, there was also the possibility that the man might do something even worse to him. Out of curiosity, Gaz left a trail camera on one of the trees at the campsite to see if the man would return that night. To his surprise, when Gaz went back the next morning, the trail camera had been stolen.
Well, I am living every solo camper's nightmare right now. There appears to be an animal of some kind pacing around my tent. It's the middle of the night.
In May 2018, a YouTuber named John uploaded a chilling video titled Maintaining Sanity with an Animal Outside the Tent on his channel, Lost Lakes. His channel focuses on outdoor exploration, and he often uploads footage of his solo adventures throughout Canada. His videos are usually very entertaining and informative. However, in this particular video, that was far from the truth. In the video, John ventures into a remote region in Ontario, Canada, where he claims there was no cell phone reception. At approximately 3:30 in the morning, John was awakened by an unusual sound coming from outside his tent and decided to record this disturbing encounter.
Well, I am living every solo camper's nightmare right now. There appears to be an animal of some kind pacing around my tent. It's the middle of the night. I woke up at 3 a.m. and just couldn't sleep. And then around 3:30, I started to hear this pacing sound, and 45 minutes later, it's still pacing around out there. So I'm gonna talk it out with the GoPro and maintain sanity, and maybe the talking will make it go away. I'm just off Highway 101 west of Chapleau, so this is some very remote country, despite being right off the highway, and it's the black bear capital of the world. So I'm thinking that's a possibility.
As John just pointed out, he was camping in the area known as the black bear capital of the world, making it quite probable that there was indeed a bear or another large animal close to the tent. In these circumstances, a weak camping tent offers minimal to no defense against an aggressive 600-pound predator. To add to the situation, when John decides to go back to his car, he discovered that his keys were missing, and just a few minutes later, he hears something touching his tent.
And my car is literally right outside there, but I can't find my car key for the life of me. I think I may have left it in the car. So while I'm tempted to hop out and get in the car, turn on my headlights, that's not an option right now because I'm an idiot and I can't find my key. And the pacing continues. It's all gravel here. This is so I can hear everything on the gravel. I can hear all the footsteps, but anyway, the talking isn't making it go away, but it hasn't made a move toward the tent yet, so I don't know. Maybe it's biding its time for an attack. I don't know. Something literally just touched my tent before I turned on the camera. But I'm not really appreciated right now. Second, there's no cell signal here. And third, I have to pee. It's really just comical, almost.
As the footsteps continued outside his tent, John was overwhelmed with fear and paranoia. To distract himself from the unsettling scenario, he revealed to his viewers the protective gear he had packed for his camping trip, which included a hatchet, bear spray, and an air horn. Thankfully, John didn't need to use any of these tools, as the noises eventually stopped, allowing him to sleep peacefully for the night. However, he never discovered the true source of the disturbances outside his tent.
Keep hearing the strange noise up on the top of the mountain.
This right here is a YouTuber named Jason, who in April of 2019 uploaded a video to his channel Appy Mountain Trekkers in which he recorded footage of his solo overnight trip to the mountains. His channel mostly focuses on outdoor activities, and he frequently uploads videos of his solo adventures. However, on this particular day, during his hike up the mountains, he encountered something truly disturbing. As soon as he arrives at the campsite, Jason begins setting up his tent and shows his viewers how he starts a fire as the sun begins to set. While waiting for nightfall, he decides to try spoon carving. This is when he hears a strange sound coming from the woods.
Keep hearing the strange noise up on the top of the mountain. I can't figure out what that is. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but it sounds like some kind of, almost sounds like a bird, but it doesn't. Of course it quits. I'm hearing things. This may be a long night.
As the sound was coming from the top of one of the mountains, he dismissed it as a bird or some other small animal and continued setting up for the night. At about 9 in the evening, he turned off his camera to go to bed, but just an hour later, he was woken up by a scary sound that he said he'd never heard before and described it as a strange growling animal call.
Alright guys, we'll give you a quick update. It's about 10 after 10 and I was trying to go to sleep. I was woke up by something I've never heard in my life. I heard like 4 quick, very loud, deep guttural calls on this ridge behind me, behind camp. But it was like 4 calls, almost like a communication call of some kind. I'm still rattled. I've never heard anything like that in my life. It sounded like a mix between almost like a pig, some kind of, I hate to even say it, but a pig, an ape, and the calls almost sounded like how the velociraptors communicate with each other on Jurassic Park. I've never heard anything like that in my life.
After the jarring awakening, he attempts to go back to sleep. However, just a few hours later, around 1 a.m., he wakes up once more to what he describes as the sound of something or someone circling his tent.
About 1 o'clock, I woke up again. I heard something circling my camp. Whatever it is, it's close. I heard that. Whatever it is, it sounded like there was 2 or 3 of them. And it started on the other side of my camp. Went around my perimeter.
If you look closely at the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, you can see the reflection of what appears to be 1 or 2 sets of eyes as he pans his flashlight over them. Although there are many animals with eyes that reflect light at night, based on the fiery white color of the reflection, it's very likely that Jason was being observed by wolves or coyotes. If this were the case, Jason would be in grave danger. However, he doesn't even seem to notice the eyes watching him as he scans the area with his flashlight. Luckily, he went back to his tent and slept safely through the night. When he woke up the next morning, he recorded another update for his viewers, but he never mentioned the eyes that his camera had captured the night before, suggesting he might have never noticed.
So when he continued to not leave and was trying to go to every door of the van, I quickly got around the corner, called the cops, and then from there I drove. Yeah, I'm a little bit shaken up right now.
This right here is a YouTuber named Sarah, who in September of 2021 uploaded a video titled Scariest Night Inside a Van on her channel Sarah Dungo. Her channel mainly showcases her outdoor explorations throughout the United States while traveling in her camper van. The videos usually emphasize the beauty of nature and have a relaxed and pleasant vibe. However, in this particular video, that was far from the truth. In the video, Sarah was coming back from a 2-day camping trip in the forest and was on her way to Asheville, North Carolina. Upon arriving, she spent the day exploring the city and chose to spend the night in the parking lot of a restaurant. As night falls, the restaurant began to close, the parking lot gradually emptied, leaving her all alone. While she was getting her dinner ready, she suddenly heard someone knocking on the outside of her van. This is when things started to take a very disturbing turn.
Know her. Please leave me be.
Fuck your camera, man. You're not
safe right now, but I just had my first knock on the door. That was not the cops. I was in the middle of cooking dinner, so I had my cooktop out, you know, propane hose attached and everything. And then he's just bangs on my side door right here. I first turn off all the lights, turn all the sounds off so I can hear what's going on in case it is the cops and I need to like talk to them. It wasn't, and then he banged on this door right here, the double doors, and that's when I got really nervous. So when he continued to not leave and was trying to go to every door of the van, I quickly unhooked my propane. So I got around the corner, called the cops, and then from there I drove. Yeah, I'm a little bit shaken up right now.
After this strange encounter, Sarah decided to leave and spend the night somewhere else. Later in the video, Sarah gave a detailed update on everything that had just happened, mentioning that the man might have been under the influence. Prior to her recording, he had knocked on her window and told her to get out of her car, strongly believing she was someone he had been dating at the restaurant and claimed that she had broken his heart. When Sarah denied being that person, he insisted that he had seen her van parked outside multiple times and continued to urge her to get out of her car to prove she wasn't the woman. Fortunately, Sarah wisely chose to stay inside her vehicle and safely left the parking lot. In February of 2018, a YouTuber named Greg Harris uploaded a rather disturbing video titled "Almost Got Decapitated by Wire Booby Trap" on an ATV trail on his channel Greg Harris, Florida. Greg often shares videos of his daily activities in various locations across North America. In this particular video, he uploaded GoPro footage of himself riding his ATV on a trail somewhere in the United States. The video begins with Greg speeding along an off-road section on his ATV. However, as he ventures deeper into the woods, his ride is suddenly interrupted by something quite alarming. Upon closer inspection of the footage, it's evident that a metal wire had been set up between the two trees, which caught on Greg's helmet and forced him to stop. In the description of his video, Greg later noted how incredibly lucky he was that the wire broke, as it had become entangled beneath the chin of his helmet. Fortunately, thanks to his helmet and the reduced speed he had while making the turn, combined with the wire being aligned right at his helmet, he avoided a potentially life-threatening injury from the wire. It may seem shocking that anyone would consider setting up a lethal booby trap on an ATV trail, but unfortunately encounters of this nature are more common than one might think within the dirt bike community. Sometimes these traps are set up by property owners trying to keep bikers off their land, or by individuals who become infuriated with the loud noise and resort to violence against the riders. In circumstances like this, it is difficult to determine who might have placed the trap. This is a scenario where, had the wire been placed just a bit lower, or if Greg had been riding a little faster, the accident could have had much more serious consequences. Thankfully, Greg was able to walk away with only minor injuries.
I think someone's outside the back. 2:30. Someone just tried the door.
This right here is a YouTuber named Brendan, who in February of 2024 uploaded a video titled "Scary Attack While Van Camping" on his channel Brendan Explores. His channel is dedicated to outdoor exploration, and he frequently uploads footage of his stealth camping experiences while traveling across the UK in his camper van. In this particular video, Brendan chose to go stealth camping near a residential area located at Jaywick Sands Beach. Brendan begins the video by parking his van in a nearby parking area and exploring the local surroundings. However, he finds the area too strange and noisy for his liking, as he hears many bikes and cars racing around him. Therefore, he decides to drive about 30 minutes to a nearby forest. After locating a good spot to park his van, he felt satisfied with the quiet and peaceful surroundings, and it seemed like he was alone in the woods. As the night began to set in, Brendan enjoyed his dinner and decided to go to bed around 10 p.m. However, at approximately 2:30 a.m., he was suddenly awakened by the sound of footsteps outside his van. It was at this moment that Brendan encountered something truly disturbing.
Nice and quiet here. Not even a sound of a distant car. Just how I like it. It's absolutely dead quiet. I'll see you in the morning.
Right, whoever the that was has now gone.
After hearing someone trying to unlock his side door, and then moments later witnessing the glass of his passenger side window shatter into pieces, Brendan quickly shouted at the individuals and stepped out of his van. Unfortunately, the person ran off before Brendan could confront or identify anyone. After this bizarre encounter, Brendan, without thinking twice, drove 3 hours back to his house. The next morning, Brendan gave a detailed update to his viewers and mentioned that the individual who attempted to break into his car likely saw his fridge sitting on the passenger seat. When they failed to unlock the doors, they broke the glass window in an effort to steal the fridge, or even the van itself. However, when they heard Brendan shout and realized someone was inside the van, they quickly fled back to their own cars. Despite his van being damaged, Brendan was fortunately unharmed during the break-in and managed to safely make it back home. He later mentioned that out of the hundreds of camping trips he has taken, this was the most scared he has ever been. However, he also stated that he wouldn't let this disturbing encounter stop him from camping in the future.
This guy is really starting to freak me out. It's been like a half an hour and he just keeps on moving his vehicle, so he's just staring me down and I'm afraid to go up the front there. But
this right here is a YouTuber named Lisa, who in October of 2022 uploaded a video titled "Solo Female Camper Encounters 4 Creepy Sketchy Guys" on her channel Asleep 5 Decades. Her channel showcases her everyday life as she travels throughout North America while living in a camper van. She frequently uploads footage of her experiences at the different places where she spends the night, along with her journeys to those destinations in her camper van. In this particular video, Lisa had parked her van on the side of the road and left the door open while she cooked dinner inside. When a suspicious man approached her van, leaned in without her permission, and started asking her some pretty weird questions in French, a language Lisa didn't understand. When she mentioned that she couldn't understand him, he pulled out a translation app to try to communicate, which only made her more uncomfortable. After watching him struggle with the app for a few minutes, Lisa decided she had enough and shut the side door in his face. Strangely, the man stood outside in the rain for over 30 minutes, trying to use the translator app to engage with Lisa, even after she clearly signaled that she wanted nothing to do with him. Moments later, the man started to lurk behind the bushes beside her van, and this is when things started to take a very disturbing turn.
okay, he just moved even closer so that I can't move out and so that I can't go forward. Please leave. Please leave, you sketchy person. Please leave.
After witnessing the man hide himself in the bushes, it's evident that he is up to no good. Lisa later mentioned that he essentially stalked her from a distance for almost 15 minutes, believing she couldn't notice him. However, Lisa was recording him the entire time and kept an eye on him to prevent him from trying to get close to her again. Despite this, the man continued to drive his car closer to her van and started blocking her exit for over 30 minutes.
This guy is really starting to freak me out. It's been like a half an hour and he just keeps on moving his vehicle so he can see in my van here. And it's 7 o'clock, 7 p.m. It's raining pretty hard and he is just such a creepy person, and I didn't trust him when he was trying to talk to me earlier, and he's just staring me down and I'm afraid to go up the front there.
Fortunately for Lisa, a family with an RV parked right behind her and stayed there for the whole night. Alarmingly, the man left as soon as the family arrived but returned about 3 hours later in the middle of the night to see if Lisa was still there. Upon noticing that the family was still in the parking lot, he left quickly and did not come back. The next morning, Lisa left early and never encountered the man again. Although it's hard to determine his true intentions, his behavior and suspicious actions suggest that he likely had very bad intentions. Despite the disturbing circumstances, it was lucky that the other family arrived when they did. Otherwise, who knows what could have happened to Lisa.